Shalom to everyone. Shalom to everyone. Thank you for joining this second part. The conference that has been on the table since this morning. Thank you to all the thousands who have shared with us the first part of the conference. We hope this will also be a big blessing. I was sharing here with the local community in New York, where we are now, because of the intensity of prophetic information that we have ahead when we venture into chapter 38 of the prophet's book, Ezekiel. Then I found it necessary, after thinking it over, to have a third conference. I want to dedicate this class again to all our brothers fighting in the land of Israel at this moment, seeking that there be peace finally in our land, that there be peace in Jerusalem, and may there be peace in all the nations of the world. That is what we most desire from the bottom of our hearts. And basically, what we are going to be studying in this specific lecture is
identifying Gog
and Magog in the biblical prophecy. That's what it's about. We will make every effort to see how far we can go with the blessing of the eternal. It's a huge challenge because we are talking about prophecies that are over 2,500 years old. Yes, the world has changed in 2,500 years. The nations have changed in 2,500 years. The regions of the world known at that time are not necessarily the same as those that exist today. So what lies ahead in this tremendous challenge is a prophetic puzzle. What lies ahead of us? But there is a way to reach a consensus about who can really be Gog and Magog, the biblical prophecy. That's the topic we're going to discuss in today's Shibboleth, identifying Gog and Magog in biblical prophecy. As a spiritual leader responsible for the welfare of an entire international alliance. We have students in our alliance in more than 40 nations. Imagine that. The responsibility is very big. I have been speaking about two fundamental things. Yes, two fundamental things. First, have absolute confidence in HASHEM. Emunat HASHEM.
bitachon, trust, belief.
He is going to take care of us. Smile as the beloved do. He will take care of us, and therefore panic cannot spread among the children of light. We have to keep working on retention. We have to keep working on forming Torah study groups in as many places as possible. We have to keep creating wealth to support our families. As I said, in today's longing with the sweat of our brow, not with the sweat of others, fighting together for redemption. That's the first thing. And secondly, not only have absolute confidence in the prophetic word that has been given to us, but also be well informed. Prepare well, be well informed, ready in case we are surprised in an emergency situation, know what to do, know how to survive it. I mentioned in my previous talk about the war of Gog and Magog, and I repeat it now. When you look at this topic, the war of Gog and Magog will be different. It's going to be completely different from any other known wars. because it is going to be a war. If my understanding of the writing is correct, it's going to be a war between those who defend Muslim culture and those who defend Judeo-Christian culture. Those will be two ideologies. Very intense. That is, it will be an ideological war. Not for land-related reasons or simply of specific or strategic territorial areas. It will be an ideological war. And the Bible shows us who the actors in that war will be and the reason for that war. And we find all this in the prophetic books. From Ezekiel chapter 38 and Ezekiel chapter 39. And we also find it in the book of the prophet Zechariah, chapter 12 of the book of prophet Zechariah, among other prophetic texts. Reading this book of Ezekiel, we can get an idea who will the mother of all wars be with. The war of Gog and Magog is most likely the Third World War. It's not going to be easy. It will not be easy. I remember some words of Albert Einstein, who once said, I don't know what the Third World War will be like, but I do know how the fourth one will be, with sticks and stones. Can you imagine what he meant? That the Third World War will end everything. It will throw us again if something does not happen. To the caveman era, the people hidden under the mountains in caves. Because the concept of a city that we have today could disappear forever. So we are not talking about a science fiction movie. It's serious and we have to be prepared. Ezekiel mentioned the following nations involved in this war. Chapter 30, the book of Ezekiel says, and the word of the Lord came to me, says,
The word came to me from an elder, saying, Son of man, set your face Gog.
In the land of Magog,
Prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tuval. Pay close attention.
I'm going to say it again. Show your face
towards Gog.
Ezekiel is in Babylon. And he says, put your face towards the water from the observation point of the prophet Ezekiel. We know it is Babylon. But we do not know if it is north, south, east, or west, because the text does not tell us. We have to find it another way. Put your face towards Gog, of the land of Magog. And now, more information is coming. Says Prince, this Gog, is he the prince of Rosh, Meshech, Itubal, and prophecy against it, and say verse 3 and tell them,
Rosh and Magog, prince of Meshech and Tubal.
Rosh, Gog, Magog, prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal. And tell them, thus says HASHEM Elohim, and here I am against you, O Gog, prince of Rosh,
Meshech, and Tuval.
But I will stop here for a moment with the prophetic citation. He is talking about someone which was well known during the time of the prophet.
The prophet had an idea of who Gog was. We have no idea
of who Gog is, but it is speaking against someone identified as Gog. And it is said to be from Gog. He is the prince or main figure of a region or of an alliance composed of three great nations or of three great regions: Cush,
Meshech, and Tubal.
This Gog might be the president of a great nation. He might be a high-ranking military leader from a great nation, like a general, supreme at the front,
from a coalition of three previously mentioned regions: Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal.
And these regions will be drawn into this war. And at the same time, they are going to drag this war along to other nations. Says the prophet Ezekiel, after mentioning Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, mentions Persia, Ethiopia, Rut,
Putti, Persia, Ethiopia, and Put.
And then mentions two more:
Beth Togarma.
And after mentioning those nations or those regions, the prophet generally mentions other troops as well that are going to join this war. In this case, identified as the most remote parts of the north. And here comes the first point of reference, taking as a Babylonian observation.
So you stand where the prophet was standing?
At the moment of receiving this prophecy, it is said that the contours of the north are assumed to be the north from the observation point of view, from the prophet. That's all. Then to complete this scenario, he says that from the most remote parts of the north, Gog, it is going to drag other troops and will drag many other peoples with you, apart from the ones already mentioned. Other troops and many other peoples with you to complete the scenario. It is said in the prophecy against whom the war will be. And why did the war end?
Of Gog and Magog.
Who will the war be against? And what will be the motivation? What is the reason for the war? No war is for the sake of war. There is always a reason behind it. What caused it? And then here it will be explained to us.